Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Group Chat. We are kicking off today's episode with a very special interview with our good friend Ollie from Car Trackers. You will not believe the car prices and what car is dropping. If you had your eyes on you'll have to wait and see what car it is, but it's about to be an incredible deal. If you're looking to sell your car, he's got you.
It's a good pulse on the economy too.
It really is. It's always very interesting to have him here. He entered a new business where he's able to actually help you purchase a new car. And he told us who's got the deals.
Right.
So tune into that. And then we get into earnings. We talk Shopify. We talk Walmart. We talk Google. And then we talk about NFL's streaming service, which I think is basically going to be replacing the toilet paper. Let's get into today's episode.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
All right, everyone. We have our resident used car king, Ollie from Car Trackers, in the building. And he starts walking up to me. He's like, it was funny you were talking about Uruses the other day. What is going on in the Urus market? Are they cheap yet?
Oh, they're getting there. Prices have already come down. I want to say, like in the higher end market, prices have come down about 15 to 20%.
Already.
Since when?
The last 2 months.
Whoa.
And do you think they go down further from here?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they've appreciated so much. I mean, Uruses, they went up, I believe, like 30, 40% during pandemic.
So those that don't know, Lamborghini Urus SUV, which is basically the Camry of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Everyone
like
drives around in these cars. I've never seen more cars in any other brand than this car in my neighborhood. And what do they retail for when they come out? $250?
No, I think they're over 300.
They're over 300.
Yeah. And then there's a markup as well.
Because you can't even get them.
You can't get them.
Wow. So now they're coming back down.
The used car prices are coming down.
So I guess, because is this similar to the watch market where a Rolex costed X pre-pandemic, pandemic happened, went crazy, inflated, then now they're coming down, but they're still ahead of the pre-pandemic levels. So is that what's going on with used cars, or are used cars even going to get to the pre-pandemic level?
Yeah, so we're in the same boat in used cars right now. Obviously, you guys know during pandemic, everything went up about, I think the automotive market went about 30, 40%. So I think we're going to see a good 20% adjustment, if not more. I mean, we've already adjusted 20%. I think we're going to see another 5% adjustment in the next few weeks.
Is that just in the luxury space, or that all cars?
The big time hit is the luxury.
Okay.
Luxury is taking a big hit because obviously everyone had money. They're spending recklessly, they're able to afford those payments. And now, obviously business has slowed down across the board. So we're noticing we've had an influx of higher end cars coming in and people just wanting to unload them.
What's like a popular higher end car that's coming in?
Urus, a lot of Uruses. We're getting...
That's a lot of crypto Uruses, I bet.
What's the average age of a Urus owner?
I would say like the ones that are contacting us like in the mid 30s.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's crypto.
Yeah, that's definitely crypto.
Growth tech,
cannabis,
all of it. So the floor has been raised, so at least that's good news. And is the reason why the used car market coming down across the board because there's finally inventory at the dealerships for new cars, or is it just everything economic downturn? Combination of everything.
I think it's a combination of everything. Obviously, the economy has, it's downtrending. Another thing is new car store production is picking up. Throughout pandemic, you could not get a car at MSRP. I think last episode when I was on here back in, I believe it was like October.
Yeah.
I had mentioned that you couldn't get a car at MSRP. If you could get a car at MSRP, buy it right away. You'll make money on it.
Yeah.
So right now, so I actually wanted to bring up something. We had our first acquisition 2 months ago. We purchased a company called Below Invoice.
Okay.
And what Below Invoice does is we help you purchase a new car.
Oh, wow.
So we'll pretty much do all the work for you. You don't have to go to the dealer. You will get the car delivered to you. So that's pretty big. And what we've noticed after taking on this acquisition, there's a lot of cars that you can get at MSRP right now, even under MSRP.
What car?
So Lexus, BMW right now are going under MSRP.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All models?
That's actually a really good service.
You know, not the X5s.
Not the X5,
You know,
okay.
like the premier model, it's going to be tough. Like you're not going to get the LX 570 at under sticker, but
Like a 3 Series BMW?
oh, definitely 3 Series. You could, we can get you one between 2,000 to 3,000 under MSRP.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about so Lexus and BMW? That's interesting. Those are like such popular brands.
Yeah, they are. But I mean, I guess their inventory levels have picked up.
What about Chrysler Pacifica?
Chrysler Pacific. I remember you asking me about that. Those, I think you can get them. I want to say like you can maybe get those at MSRP or maybe like $1,000 over.
Okay, and
Yeah.
that's good.
Oh, that's still good. Yeah, because
Okay.
that's an affordable car.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's and it's a family car, so obviously people need that. So certain cars are staying strong. Your rare vehicles like your G-Wagons are still going to be up there. You're never going to get that at MSRP, right? That's
Really?
going to be tough. Yeah.
The gas guzzlers spawn it, right? $7 gas, not turning anyone off.
Yeah.
Do people sell Teslas, by the way?
Do people what?
Sell Teslas?
Yeah. So through pandemic, people made a killing on Teslas. We had employees, customers buying brand new Teslas and turning around selling them to us, making 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 on Tesla Model X. I don't know if you guys know, back in November of last year, the base price, like say you booked out a 6-seater with 22-inch wheels, I believe the price was around 104,000. That same car today is 134,000 brand new.
Ooh.
It's gone
Wow.
up 30 grand. So we have people that, take delivery, once they get their registration or their payoff quote, they give us a call and they sell us their cars. They were getting 20,000+ in equity, but that's come down big time.
Wow.
So 2 weeks ago, Elon Musk said that he might lower prices to help with inflation. And ever since he said that, Teslas have adjusted about 10%.
Wow.
It's been crazy. And we sell the most Teslas in the West Coast.
Wow.
Yeah, so we provide all the deals with Teslas, and it's been tough the last couple of weeks. We can't sell them.
Wow.
Yeah, it's getting tough. So there is still some equity, but obviously we've passed the peak and we're on our way down.
So on the below invoice, if someone wants to reach out, how do they do that?
So they can either visit belowinvoice.com. They can check us out on Facebook or Instagram. It's super easy. There's a form fill on there. You just put what kind of car you're looking for, and then we'll have someone reach out and walk you through the process.
Is that only in California?
No, we can service anywhere in the United States.
Wow.
Yeah, so we'll get the car delivered to you. We work with dealers throughout the nation. It's pretty exciting, I think, for us, just because like we recently have gone through purchasing new cars, and we've gone to the dealer to buy a car at MSRP because we know we can make money on it, and we've already had a deal in place. We know what we wanted. Everything was set in stone, and it still took 4 hours at the dealership.
Wow.
It's just a run around. Like one manager needs to approve it. It's just like the waiting game. They
What
try
is
to
like nonsense?
I experienced this during the pandemic. I had probably the most VIP experience from a listener, I won't say his name, that worked at Mercedes-Benz corporate. He actually got me a car under MSRP.
Okay, nice.
And he set it all up. All I had to do, in theory, was sign documents and walk out with my car. The car was supposed to be there, and it still took hours.
Oh yeah.
And that's what he had already pre-negotiated everything for me, got everything that they said the paperwork's ready, and it still took forever. This is part of the reason why Tesla was so innovative. You just go on an iPad in a Tesla store, swipe five things, and the price is the price.
You don't have to go there. You
I
can do
can
it
do
at
it
home.
online. Yeah, you can do it
Yeah.
online. But I'm just saying, like, the dealer model's so broken. I think you guys can crush
Yeah,
it.
they're always like, "Do you
Yeah.
want some coffee?" No, I don't want no fucking coffee. I just want a car and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, literally in the waiting room. So I was there. We had a few employees there. We were there in the waiting room at least an hour,
Yeah.
just like for no reason. I mean, the deal was already made. All we had to do was sign the paperwork. Car was ready. Car was picked out. Everything was ready to go. Just
And I think the here's the biggest challenge. Okay, Seinfeld has done an episode about buying a car. It's literally the funniest, greatest episode. And even when my wife drives an Audi SUV, I took it to get it serviced. When the lady sits me down,
1 hour minimum.
why are you sitting me down? You're making me nervous. I already feel like I'm getting ripped off, and I don't even know why or what. But she's like, "Oh, well, you don't have they just make up something that you've never heard, rust proof or whatever." And like, there's no transparency, right? Because like the process just feels icky.
Oh yeah.
And the way they do it, and like, you know, you're sitting at some person's desk with their family just to make them feel like they're like good people. You're scamming me. I know you're scamming me. I know this hustle.
Yeah, it's
And
tough.
I think it that part is just so like antiquated with buying cars.
Yeah, and especially the last 2 years. I mean, we've witnessed like all-time level of scum, you know, like people, they just know how to prey on people. It is what it is. I mean, you know, we've seen customers like my neighbor. She ordered a Toyota RAV4 hybrid. She got a call from the dealer. Dealer said, hey, your car's in. She gets to the dealer, not the same day, the next day. When she gets there, they say, hey, your car's sold. She ordered the car. She put a deposit down for it, and they ended up selling it.
That happens often, at least during the
All the
pandemic,
time.
all the time.
Yeah, because, you know, here's the thing. A car's sitting there, a salesman, you know, he has a customer there, you know, they're willing to pay $5,000 over. Because some people, you know, they only want new cars, and they'll pay whatever it takes to get a new car. So they have someone there for $5,000 over. Instead of selling it for MSRP, they'll just sell that car, and they try to put her in a different car.
Wow.
The next day when she got there. So she threw a fit, and I guess they're going to give her someone else's order that's coming in a couple weeks.
Oh, so they're screwing someone else.
Yeah, they're going to screw someone else. That's just how it works.
That's amazing. So is this still a good time to sell your car?
Honestly, it's, you know, the best time to sell your car was a few months ago.
Yeah.
Or anytime last year.
Yeah.
I would sell now rather than waiting, because we are in a downtrend. So, you know, you still have equity. A lot of leases still have $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 in equity. So makes sense to sell now before you lose that equity.
Got it.
And we're heading that way. I mean, I've seen we've had 6 weeks of downtrend in the automotive industry right now.
So if you were to buy a car, when would you buy it? Let's say you don't need a car, but you want to be opportunistic.
I think right now with cars coming under MSRP, I think if you can get a car under MSRP, that's a good deal. I think that's still a good deal.
But what is MSRP? That sounds made up.
So MSRP is the manufacturer suggested
I know what it
retail
stands
price.
for, but who made up that number? The
Car
manufacturer.
manufacturer.
Yeah, the car
Yeah,
manufacturer.
so it's just, you know, these are inflated MSRPs too, right?
Yeah. So MSRPs across the board have come up as well. So I think the average sticker right now is like 64,000 or something like that.
I saw a statistic that repossessions of cars on bad auto loans is like near a record high.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So what happens to those cars?
So those cars, so pretty much what happens is the bank just ends up repoing the car. They take the car and they auction it off.
So you're making a killing on those.
So here's the thing. The dealers that buy those cars are making a killing off them because they get sold cheap at the auction.
Yeah.
They're like in bad shape, you know. They're just known as like not good cars when they're repoed. So
Really?
they bring
Because
less
they're just
value.
running it down to the ground because they know
Exactly.
it's going to get repoed.
Or they
Yeah.
probably, if you can't pay your lease, you're not taking care of it with maintenance, oil changes.
Exactly, 100%. So before you even get into repo status, I think it's definitely beneficial for you to give a call to us or another company out there. I mean, I would say us, and you know, try to get as much equity as you can.
That way you
like,
don't even have to, you know, you
that
hurt
way
your credit.
Yeah, you end up improving your credit.
Yeah.
And in the automotive industry, so when you go to a dealer, they only look at your automotive history. You could have hundreds of $1,000s of medical bill. You can have, you know, foreclosures. As long
So
as you
your
have
credit
a good,
score doesn't even matter?
your credit score does not matter. I've seen 750 credit scores not able to get a car because they never had auto loan, or they're not able
They've
to.
never had a lease or anything.
Exactly.
Wow.
So as long as you
So
have
you can
good.
get 300 credit, but if you're perfect on your auto
If you're
payments, it
perfect
doesn't
on-
matter.
Oh yeah, 100%. So they really
Seems
only look at that.
Risky. I wouldn't be underwriting auto loans like that.
Why? If you've shown if all you care about is your car and you don't give a care about
That
your
means
medical
you're
bills,
hanging by a thread.
no, but it means that all that matters is my car. I don't care about my medical or my
If
credit
that
card.
person breaks their arm, the car is gone.
Why? They're not going to pay their medical bills. They're going to pay their car bills. I like that. I like that strategy.
I can't promise you what your interest rate's going to be, but you'll definitely get approved for a loan.
Got it. And are you seeing any difference in leases versus buying?
So all of last year, I seen a lot of people were just buying cars just because the leases didn't make sense. But now that inventory levels are, you know, getting better and prices are coming down, I think it makes more sense to lease a vehicle.
Yeah.
I mean, you have more benefits. You can write it off multiple ways.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, you're not stuck with a vehicle after two or 3 years, you know?
Wow.
A lot of people like to switch out vehicles. I've noticed just being in this business for the last 16 years, people are always going to want a brand new car. Like they always have an itch for a new car before they go for a used car.
That's interesting. Is that a younger person's thing or that's all people
I
think?
think that's all people's thing. People just want new cars.
Wow.
Interesting.
And that's what drove up the used car prices because people were paying 10, 15 grand over for a new vehicle. So
Like you can't just use the car you got?
some people, they just, they
So
like
if you
change.
want to sell your car, you're still offering group chat people a special deal here?
Yeah, we'll still offer the $100 if you mention group chat.
Okay.
I mean, I think that right there is $100 right now is a lot of money.
Yeah. That's like half a tank of gas.
Yeah, it is.
And where should people go?
So if you're looking to sell a car, you can visit thecartrackers.com. You can also check us out on Instagram. We have someone that responds back pretty quickly and can get you an offer on Instagram as well. It's super easy process. We do everything to FaceTime or video chat. We do same day or next day payments. We handle the pickup. We handle the paperwork. It's a very seamless transaction.
Wow.
And you're actually dealing with a person and not a robot.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of customers that come to us because they've been on hold for 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks because they've been going back and forth with the robot. I'm not going to mention the companies.
Yeah.
But the
Carvana.
Car Direct.
yeah. So there's
Is
a lot of
Carvana going bankrupt?
it looks like it. I mean,
Why does it?
last time I was on the podcast, their stock price was at $300. We talked about it as well. I looked at it right before we got on the
It's
episode.
$22, right?
22. It's $23. Yep.
Yeah. It's funny. It's such a polarizing company. There's all these like very famous investors that think it's the best company, and there's a lot of people think it's like a Ponzi.
I personally know 3 extremely intelligent people that do different things. They're all investors that all are bullish on Carvana. I have no idea why. I think it's just the home run shot. Like if they figure it out, then it's gonna be worth so much money, and if they don't, it goes to zero.
Yeah, I hear both. I hear Ponzi scheme all the time. But that's mostly dealers
Yeah. that
don't like Carvana, obviously, because it's hurt their business.
Yeah.
So they're the ones that are spreading that rumor of the Ponzi scheme.
So, and then below invoice, if you want to buy a car, say your group chat, we'll do something for them.
Yeah. So you don't have to pay anything to us. What we will do is we'll waive our retainer fee. We do charge a retainer, but we'll waive that for all group chat listeners.
Oh, nice.
So that helps out. And then, we'll help you get a car. You don't even have to go to the dealer unless you want to go test drive it. We'll set that up for you as well. So you have a point of contact at the dealership.
But then when it's time to get the car, do you have to go to the dealership just to pick up?
No. So we can get it delivered to you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you don't have to get the coffee and the donuts.
You don't. So we'll save you that hassle.
Wow. That's awesome business.
Yeah. So that's helped out a lot because in the past we had a lot of issues where customers wanted to sell their car, but they couldn't find a new car or they were waiting for a new car. So that kind of hurt us because, at the end of the day, when they do find a new car, they end up just trading it in, right? So
Are you selling car insurance yet?
No, not yet. We're not there yet.
I feel like you'll get there.
Maybe.
That's amazing. What else should we know?
Just I would say to all the listeners out there, if you are in, if you have any extra cars right now is the best time to get rid of it.
Because in 3 months from now,
I see prices going down more.
Yeah.
I see prices going down 5 to 10% more, if not. And then the higher end stuff, it could crash. I mean, we've seen this in the past. Back in 2008, this is when I first got into the business. Cars used to go. I don't know if you guys know what a Manheim Market Report is, the MMR.
No.
So that's pretty much what the cars sell for at auction. All the dealers, pretty much United States, go to Manheim auction, and cars were going for half of the Manheim Market Report, and people were not bidding on cars.
Wow.
And we're kind of seeing, we've seen it similar in the last, I want to say, last 3-4 weeks. A lot of the higher end stuff like the Uruses, MMRs say 340. The auctioneer's asking for 300,000. No one's bidding.
Wow.
That's 40 grand off. That's a lot of money.
Wow.
I think everyone just, kind of just playing it by ear and seeing how the market's
Besides
gonna go.
Urus, what's another car that's going to crash in price?
I think a lot of the Lamborghinis are going to come down.
There you go, crypto again.
Yeah.
When Lambo.
Yeah.
When repo.
Yeah. I think a lot of Rolls Royces are going to come down. Those went crazy. Like the Cullinans were going 100 grand over.
Wow.
For a while. All the used car prices went.
That car's hot.
Oh, that car's really hot. Yeah.
That's amazing. All right. Well, it's a pretty incredible time in the car business.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Also, do not let your car get repoed. That'll hurt your credit. You don't want to repo on your credit. That's
Better
that's
just sell it and be done with it. Take
it's
the loss.
better to sell it, take some type of loss. You might, I
You
think
might actually make money.
You might make money. If you bought it within the last year or two, you will probably lose money just because prices were so inflated. But if you can manage a $1,000 or $2,000, hit, I mean, it's better for you to do that. That way you can get into another car. Because like I said, if you have a repo, that there's nothing worse than a repo on your credit.
It's good advice.
Yeah, that's really good advice. All right, well, listeners, if things are falling apart, sell everything. Don't get repoed.
Don't get repoed.
I mean, if you can't get another car and you live in like California, you're kind of screwed.
I mean, most of the country. What cities can you get around with no car? New York and San Francisco. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I would say repo is then the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, and it's picking up. Last few years, we had no repos. So that's also why value is appreciated, right? There's no repos. We're used to getting repos in the market.
Yeah.
We had no release returns. People ended up either buying their leases or selling their leases because they had equity. So that's a lot of cars that didn't make it to the auction.
Wow. All right, before you go, you were mentioning something interesting. So Lexus hit you guys up.
Yeah, so
we got a group chat Lexus deal?
So we have wholesale, we have a wholesale account pretty much with these dealerships, and Lexus hit us up this morning saying they pretty much have a invoice deal. So an invoice deal, for those that don't know, that's pretty much a cost price of what the dealership is getting it for. So say invoice on a Lexus RX could be $45,000, right? The MSRP is $52,000. They wanted to make $7,000, but right now they're selling it for $45,000.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a below invoice.
Is that a lease and
deal.
a buy?
That's lease or purchase, yes.
Wow.
So we do lease, and we can do lease, finance, or purchase.
Okay. Wow.
So that shows right there how inventory levels are softening up or opening up, and it's a good deal for someone that wants to get a Lexus. Yeah,
hot. Lexus is a great car.
Yeah, they're really good cars.
And the other thing I wanted to leave on was I didn't know that if a car weighs over 6,000 pounds, it's a tax write-off. What kind of scam is that?
So pretty much, I mean, I'm not a CPA,
Yeah.
but pretty much you can write off anything that's over 6,000 pounds. So
the full price?
The full price. So you see a lot of these higher end cars, if they're 6,000, like the Urus, for instance, a lot of people are buying that as a write-off. The Cullinans were write-offs. At the end of the year, you see a lot of trucks, SUVs like Tahoe, Suburbans, Yukons, all that stuff. They fly off the shelves at that time just because people are trying to get a write-off.
Wow.
Also, for instance, like the Yukons, those were going 10, 15 grand over MSRP just 4 months ago. We can get you a Yukon at about $1,000 over MSRP right now. Wow. Which is a smoking deal. I mean, that's 10 grand off from just a few months ago.
Wow. All right, everyone. If you got money,
go get a write-off.
Go get a Cullinan. If you don't got money, don't get repoed. Sell your car.
Yeah, sell your car ASAP.
Either way, Ollie's got a solution for you. All right, Ollie. Well, thanks for stopping by. I think you got to come back next month and give us the full update on the market. Because if that Urus drops like 75%, I'd be interested.
I think after Labor Day, after everyone spent all their money in Europe and traveling, you got to come by and give us an update.
Yeah.
I'll be back for sure. I appreciate you guys for having me.
Of course. Thank you. All right. Well, we got a good sense of what's happening in the car market. We saw General Motors reported earnings fell short of Wall Street expectations. They're blaming part shortages, supply chain issues, but we're hearing the real story. The real story is demand has softened.
Yeah, and GM's problem is, sure, the scale's different, but Tesla, total Q2 vehicle sales for GM, 1.421 million. That's down 19% year over year. Tesla, sure, it's a smaller scale, 254,000 vehicle sales, up 27%. So if you it's kind of across the board. I think in every industry, there's a flight to quality. I mean, we can touch on Google's earnings. Like, sure, they missed slightly, but their ad revenue is still up.
Yeah.
Snaps fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
It's because Snap's ads don't work.
Yeah.
Google's ads work.
Yeah.
Tesla, people want. No one wants a GM.
Yeah. And I think, people inherently are rooting for Tesla to fail. A lot of people are. But the product is just proven that people love it. They want it. And they're all in on the, like, people who own it love it. Like you very rarely, you hear people complaining about their Teslas, but like they're not giving it up,
No.
and they've all enjoyed the experience. I think everything from the way it's where you buy it, the way that he's thinking about insurance and powering and everything.
If you think about it, they still have so much market share to capture.
Yeah. That 254 will be $1 million.
I don't have a Tesla. You don't have a Tesla.
Yeah.
My mom doesn't have a Tesla.
We should get one.
Someone should get a Tesla.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, if you really think about it, very few people have still purchased their first Tesla.
Yeah, so they have a lot of growth ahead.
And I feel like if you're a young person, I think we talked about it last year. Everyone wanted a Tesla. Every young person around us wanted a Tesla.
Right.
Because I think it is a status car. It is basically probably to a lot of people what like having a BMW was as like your first cool car. You'd rather have a Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
Super fascinating. One of the big news that I think came out today is Shopify came out in anticipation of their earnings that are coming out on Wednesday, I believe, after the bell. They are laying off 10% of their workers, and it's primarily in sales, recruiting, and accounting is where they're getting rid of people. And the stock obviously sunk, which is interesting. Usually when you're cutting costs, you get rewarded. But I think this is like a harbinger of what is actually going to happen is they're going to report some scary fucking numbers tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think anyone is expecting a beat on anything. And I think guidance is going to be terrible. And unfortunately, I would never like take someone losing their job lightly, but 10% doesn't sound like enough.
Well, I mean, given we had Taylor on the podcast.
These companies need to start laying off the ones that are massively unprofitable, like Shopify.
Yeah.
And if you're private, if you're unprofitable, you need to be laying off 25-30% of your staff, not 10%.
And the thing is the reason why that is the best place to go is people's salaries are very high in this economy.
Right.
So when you're letting go like a middle manager that makes $200,000 a year, it's meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, judging by the conversation we had with Taylor, who is a Shopify seller, and gave us a good lens in terms of what's happening in the market, I think Shopify is going to get, I mean, those numbers should be horrific.
Yeah, they should be pretty bad.
The only reason it could not be horrific is the 5 biggest sellers, let's say Kylie Cosmetics, Skims, Fashion Nova, these are all big, Yeezy, the big Shopify sellers are probably not down. None of them.
Yeah, and it's also interesting, like the way they advertise. I listened to this really niche NBA podcast called the Zach Lowe Podcast.
Yeah.
That's produced by ESPN. They have Shopify ads on there. And they talk about like really nitty gritty NBA trades. Like, why are you advertising on this podcast?
Maybe they think like CFOs are listening.
Maybe. A lot of salary cap talk.
Yeah, so maybe it's like, it's accounting, CFOs, that type. I don't know. We're curious to see these earnings. I think it's going to be very telling of the state of like the middle market, small business, e-commerce industry. And really, Thursday I think is Amazon.
Yeah, Thursday's Amazon.
To me, that's so important because we saw Walmart. Walmart came out slashing profit outlook, saying that inflation has hurt their business, that category like apparel is really suffering because all of their consumer is spending on inflated food prices. And groceries.
And Walmart also said they don't have the right inventory mix.
Yeah.
So companies like Walmart and everyone, they over-indexed on the goods that were selling during the pandemic, like TVs.
Yeah.
Everyone bought a new TV during the pandemic because you couldn't go anywhere. Everyone upgraded.
Yeah.
Now you have a glut of electronics. People aren't buying electronics anymore. So it's really...
And they're not buying... Even apparel is just softer.
Yeah, apparel is definitely softer.
Walmart said apparel is like a slow category for them.
Yeah. So, I mean, Walmart is basically America. They do by far the most revenue, I think, of any company in America.
I think they do double Amazon.
Yeah, they think they do like almost $500 billion in revenue.
I don't think it's that much, but yeah, they do a lot.
And so if they're saying softening, I mean, it's just natural. The stock market the S&P's down almost 20%.
Yep.
You're spending more at the pump. You're spending more on food. You can't feasibly have an uptick in earnings for...
You're right. $559 billion.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
$500 billion a year they do.
They're America.
That's America.
America's not shopping.
America's not shopping.
The stock went down, I think 10%.
Which is like massive for a company of that scale.
And it obviously took down the rest of the retail sector. I think there will be pockets of good news in retail. I don't know where, but there could be, because they're just so big. They represent the largest kind of swath of Americans. But really interesting to see Amazon's earnings, Shopify earnings. Google came out with their earnings, and like you said, they missed, but I think the fact that their advertising revenue was up shows that like they have a baseline that like they could probably maintain even if things got significantly uglier.
Yeah, their actual ad revenue beat estimates. So I think they're getting rewarded a little bit for that. And like I said, they didn't fall off a cliff because Snap is just not Google, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone took down Google stock the last week because Snap was such a disaster.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious to see. So what is it? I wonder what YouTube advertising revenue was down though.
Yeah, and they slowed growth.
We're less less than
YouTube
expected.
was less than expected, but they were still positive on growth. It's just slower growth.
Yeah. So the fact that it's still growing
at like 65 billion in ad revenue a quarter.
12% increase in total advertising revenue.
Why does Google get I never noticed this, but they always report XTAC. So that's traffic acquisition costs.
Yeah.
Why do we not care how much Google's spending to drive people to Google? Because those are the partnerships with having it on like an iPhone and like
they pay
default.
They pay Apple crazy.
Yeah, it's
money
over
here.
$10 billion a year.
Yeah.
Why do can we report e-commerce businesses without at traffic acquisition costs?
I mean,
that's similar to
they report it.
Yeah, they report it, but analysts look at X traffic acquisition costs.
Well, I mean, it's in the headline in CNBC, traffic acquisition cost, what it was. So I think it is a metric they do
I know
track.
It's a big Google metric.
Yeah.
We give them a pass.
But they're profitable. That's the difference.
Yeah.
As long as you shit cash, it doesn't matter. Fascinating. I mean, look, this is Super Bowl week for earnings. And then tomorrow we have the Federal Reserve meeting.
Yeah.
Which we have no idea what the hell's about to happen there.
I
think Walmart put their information out for the sake of the country.
Yeah, they're forcing the Fed's hand, you would think.
Yes, because they didn't. Their earnings are coming out anyways. Why do they need to do this? They're going out to say before the Federal Reserve meeting,
the consumer's soft.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Warren started going after Powell.
Saying you better chill?
Pretty much.
Wow.
Can you imagine if Trump was the president, what he would be tweeting about Powell?
We'd have 0% interest rates.
Yes.
Party would be ripping.
QE all day.
And so on that note, we'll find out how much the Federal Reserve will raise interest rates tomorrow. People are expecting between 75 basis point and 1 full percentage point.
I think 1%'s off the table. The market's priced in 75. And it's going to be interesting
what he says after. That's all that matters.
Yeah. So you'll see the market like vacillate between 10:30 a.m. Pacific and 11. And then I think he typically goes on around 11:15 a.m. Pacific.
I mean, you're talking, that's $1 trillion speech.
Yes. It's $1 trillion speech. And
it's the most expensive speech ever.
Yeah. And his like, we know the consumer is soft. It's obvious.
They have to stop using their cockamamie data that they think they're collecting and listen to these companies.
Yeah, I mean, if we know inflation is energy and food and the rest of the market's crumbling.
Yeah. Like why doesn't the administration have economic panel immediately, like public facing, CEO of Walmart, Elon Musk.
I hate to say it, Trump did it.
Yeah, he did
He
it.
brought everyone to the White House. What the Biden administration should be doing is CEO of Walmart, CEO of Amazon,
Tesla,
Google,
Apple,
Amazon, Facebook,
ExxonMobil.
whatever the home builder, Lennar, or whichever the biggest one is.
Yeah.
Come to the White House and explain to us what's going on in America.
That way we can tell Jay Powell what to do.
Right. Powell should be in that meeting too. Why?
Of course.
Why wouldn't they do a Zoom? Fucking Zoom's accepted now.
Yeah.
You don't even make them come to DC.
And then you should publicly air it so the American people can listen to it.
Yeah. Well, there should be a private one and a public one.
Yeah, what's really going on and what you want to tell the people.
Right.
Privately, we're fucked, guys. Biden yesterday said, we're not in a recession.
And we technically are.
Yeah. And there's a statement put out by the White House. So they want to redefine what a recession is.
Oh my God, this is ridiculous. You can't lie.
Yeah.
If you want to be the administration that lowers the temperature, Trump just lied for 4 years. That's why he didn't get reelected. People got sick of it. Just say, yes, we're in technical recession, but here are the parts of the economy that are still really strong, so don't panic. That's how you shape the conversation. Not saying we're not in a recession.
The problem is the administration's operating pre-transparent social media era where you could just say whatever you wanted and people accepted it. Now, people are like, there's 400,000 people on Twitter that have defined what a recession is. So if you don't follow that, then you're not part of the conversation. You look like an idiot.
Yep. And you're not Trump. Trump, the public said you're allowed to lie.
Yeah.
He got the pass.
Yeah.
The people that supported Biden didn't support him because we were going to get lied to.
Yeah. He's setting up for just a massacre in November. It doesn't matter. Anything else does not matter.
Abortion, honestly, might be the thing that saves some seats. Because if you're in a state where the laws could start changing, and the governors appoint the judges and whatnot, like, that's honestly the hope.
Yeah, I think that is the hope, but unfortunately, like, economically, it's what Bill Clinton always said. It's the economy, stupid. That is the fundamental thing. If you don't have money in your pocket, so there's every day I follow all these different Twitter accounts talking about surveying American people who don't feel like they have enough to get through the month, to put food on their table. That is the fundamental basic needs of our society. If they're unable to do that, they will want change.
Right.
That's it. Baseline change. It's not working. So I think very curious to see how it plays out. Tomorrow's a huge day. So if you're near a TV tomorrow, I would watch what this guy has to say.
Yeah, it doesn't
because your
matter.
life will be impacted by what happens tomorrow.
100% your life will be impacted because companies may increase layoffs, slow down on layoffs, depending on what the state of the economy is being told to us by arm of the government that has no idea what's going on in the economy.
No, and like Walmart is the economy.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not paying attention to what they're saying in consideration, you're completely disjointed from reality.
Yeah.
So big news. We talked about it briefly on the last episode. Taylor was one of the people that Instagram gave the new update to, which basically looks like TikTok. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Full-size video and full-size pictures. And Adam Mosseri, who is the head of Instagram, came out today with a video saying, we're testing this.
Yep.
And we understand a lot of you are upset. Mainly Kylie Jenner, who I think is one of the most followed people on earth, said, I want to see pictures of my friends. I don't want to see videos. I have something for that. And he basically said, we will always have a hope for pictures, but we see video as a big part of our future. They have just basically given up and said, we're going after TikTok.
because it works. And I'm sorry, Kylie and Kim, you're the establishment that doesn't want to get disrupted.
So,
because on TikTok, all these kids came out of nowhere. They literally were nobodies, and now they're some of the most famous influencers in the world.
So,
Like
why
the
they're
kid-
truly upset. So Sam Lesson put out a whole thread about why the Kardashians don't want this new era of social media to kind of be ushered in. What TikTok did was truly actually democratize the ability to create content and find a following.
Mm-hmm.
That was never possible before. Early Instagram was possible, but that was like for few years, where those early Instagram people built audience. Even with Vine, it was huge. Early Viners were able to find an audience. TikTok, I forgot the statistic, but the amount of people that have over 1 million followers is like staggering. Doesn't mean they're all making a living and they all make money, but you could create a following.
And you can get views. You can't get views on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like our TikTok page on a group chat TikTok page gets hundreds of thousands of views a week.
Million
A
He
week.
gets about 1 million a week.
And we can't even, we'd have to spend $1 million to get that on Instagram.
Yeah. And I think inherently the biggest challenge is Reels on Instagram does not have the same recommendation engine as TikTok.
No.
It's nowhere near it. Even everyone's complaining about Twitter. I don't know if you notice on your Twitter feed, there's so much content from people that I don't follow.
Yeah, tons.
Tons. Some of it's actually been good, and I've discovered some good people, but some of it's like nonsense. Like, I didn't follow this person. Stop showing me their shit.
Yeah, because I get a lot of nonsense because I follow so many crypto people, and then I just get this nonsensical crypto Twitter threads that it's like super annoying.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be challenging for Instagram to figure it out. But I think basically we live in a TikTok world. That's the future.
Yeah, that's the content that the public, specifically the youth, has voted on and saying, we want content like this, served to us this way.
Yeah.
We want to be able to discover content, discover new things, and Facebook and Instagram just wasn't doing that.
Yeah. What sucks about it is I think photos are such an important part of this story. And if Instagram basically doesn't reward photos anymore, it doesn't show your photos to your friends.
No, and Instagram's also doing the same thing that you said Twitter's doing is I look at my feed and shit that I don't follow.
Yeah.
And that's just pre their new algorithm.
Yeah.
So hopefully they fix it.
Yeah. So we'll see. I think it's going to be tough. And I think Mark Zuckerberg's already gone out there on the hiring spree. They're releasing earnings too, I think tomorrow or Thursday. So that will be a big, big moment to see how, if their advertising has actually taken a hit. Because if they grew, then
Snap should just shut down.
yes, they should shut down. Because if they grew, then
Or they have to get acquired again. Or,
I mean, he might end up buying it after all.
So the famous story was Evan Spiegel turned down $3 billion, right?
I mean, he's still on the right side of history on that one.
Yeah. What? Because if he just got Facebook stock, he would have probably 7x'd the $3 billion.
Yeah, probably more.
So Snap, yeah, because it was years ago. Snap today is still a $15 billion company.
Yeah, he's probably still on the right side of that trade.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if things aren't looking good for you financially, which, for a lot of us, it's been a tough couple years, win the Mega Millions jackpot. It's $830 million, and they're drawing tonight.
Is it tonight or tomorrow?
Yeah, I think it's tonight.
Wow.
I need to go find a freaking gas station.
There's a liquor store right here. One block.
The one on Wilshire?
Yeah, right here.
Oh,
Where
they sell Mega Millions?
I think you have to, right? I know they sell lotto tickets. I've bought lotto tickets there.
I want to go to those places where they say,
You gotta go to
we've
Barstow.
had 17 winners.
Barstow.
Yeah.
But do you know how flawed where the gas station is? Like it's really stupid.
But
and
why is that one gas station have so many
very
winners?
easy, basic math. How many people drive to Vegas?
Yeah.
Stop at Barstow and buy millions.
I know, but how many people?
You're talking like maybe 100 people drive through Wilshire, pull over to that market a day.
There's probably other very trafficked gas stations in this city that have never had a winner.
Yeah, of course. Look at the odds.
I want to go to a winning gas station.
There's no such thing.
If you operate a gas station that has had multiple lottery winners, please let me know.
Okay.
I'm interested.
Math. This is the wrong side of math. You're talking about the right side of history with Spiegel. This is the
I
wrong
don't want
side
to
of
go to
logic.
this loser liquor store that's not going to get me money. I want to go to one that where it's like
you should drive around the city until you find a winner.
No one puts like that. They should put that as a sign. People would go there and then you
For
pick up a Snickers and whatever.
Yeah.
If you don't market that you've had winners, I think it's so stupid. You can get them at 7-Elevens too, right?
I'm sure. Yeah, of course. Definitely have scratchers.
I'm not looking for a scratcher. I need to win 830 million.
Do you know what sucks about this? Like, there's a whole like thesis, the lotto's a tax on the poor.
Yeah.
When you see 830 million people, how many people that live paycheck to paycheck just dump their whole paycheck in the lotto trying to win 830 million?
Every single person I know is buying a lottery ticket.
Right.
Rich or poor.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Because 830.
But I feel like it's obviously barbelled towards poor people. I mean, the gas station I go to on Wilshire, people go in there and think it's science. The way they're like picking, they're like,
they give their numbers,
and then they have a whole sheet that they've done whatever homework they have in a random lotto.
If you run the same numbers every time, I'm okay. That's not a bad strategy.
And the other the other right side of math,
so you buy one
ticket.
Yeah.
Spending $100 versus $1 does not increase your odds statistically.
What about two?
Just one.
Okay.
I mean, technically it increases your odds statistically, but it's so marginal that it's stupid.
Especially this. I can't even imagine how much money.
How many people?
Billions of dollars of tickets.
Yeah. Well, didn't it go from 630 to 830?
Yeah.
Is it linear?
I don't know how it works. I don't know how that number. I mean, there's money being siphoned off on the way up.
For sure.
All right, last big news, NFL launching a new streaming service, NFL Plus. I was taking a huge streaming diet. I'm 100% signing up for this. Cuz I think watching on your phone is a big deal, especially out of coverage games.
So this is separate from the package.
Yeah.
So this is people who don't have TVs or don't have cable.
Correct.
Right?
Yep. But I think it's also like, if you want to watch like Monday Night Football and you don't have cable, like ESPN or Spectrum or whatever, like
you can do ESPN Plus and just pay the monthly.
This is $4.99. It's NFL. ESPN Plus offers no value to anybody.
I watch ESPN Plus.
$40 for the year. You get the preseason games. You get let's see, what else do you get here? Let's get the full package here.
The app better be good because the DirecTV NFL app is flawless in terms of there's no interruption in coverage.
Yeah.
Because I've used that at airports. Shout out to Mikey who gives me his NFL DirecTV package login every year.
But yeah, like the package is $300 per year. The NFL package.
Yeah, that's why I use Mikey's login.
And this is. They also have a premium package called NFL Plus Premium, which is $9.99 a month. And it includes full and condensed game replays and access to all 22 film, a bird's eye view of the game that coaches use to see how all 22 players move in a given play. Which is kind of cool. I think this is going to work.
It'll definitely work. It'll work. The concept's great. But it takes a lot of technology to have live streaming not interrupt. Like the amount of money DirecTV probably spent.
ESPN's good.
ESPN's great, but this is the NFL.
It's not that hard. I'll figure it out. They're the smartest people in the room.
Hope so.
NFL? Who's smarter than the NFL? Name a company smarter than the NFL.
Like any company? Or
Any
sports
company.
league?
I would say that if I think of the best companies in the world and entities, I would say it's like
I'd say
Apple,
Google,
Google, NFL.
Amazon.
I would put NFL above Amazon. They're more important.
All right, let's move on to shout outs.
I mean, more people like the NFL than like anything else.
I think people like their toilet paper.
If you told Americans, wipe your ass with your hands, and you get all the NFL you want, or you can have toilet paper and no NFL, let me tell you, toilet paper's out of business. People will have shit on their hands before they give up NFL.
There you go. Shit on your hands.
All right. We're going to do some shout outs. We got a big, special, happy birthday shout out from Anish Patel to his girlfriend, Liz Mosesian, who actually I met in New York when we had our little meetup at the Spaniard in I think it was the West Village. Big shout out. He wanted to say you're one of the most caring and kindest people you'll ever meet, has an infectious energy that inspires everyone around her. This week, they're going to celebrate on boats and rooftops. Ooh,
Nice.
Fun. I hear the weather's good in New York and really hot, so I'm sure the boat ride will be much enjoyed. Happy birthday. I think I met the whole crew of your friends when I was out in New York. So have an incredible birthday. Have a tequila shot for us and enjoy.
I have a shout out. I was at Delilah Vegas on Friday night. Someone stopped me on the way out. I didn't catch his name, but thanks for listening.
All right. Yeah, it's fun when you travel. You run into so many group chat listeners or people who watch our videos on TikTok. Like, it definitely has a big, awesome reach.
And I know I put this in our group chat, but my God, Delilah Vegas, the food is so damn good.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I hadn't been in probably 4 or 5 months. It's another level now.
In August, I think I have, I'm making 5 reservations, 5 dinners.
Oh, because you're going for magic.
There's like 5 trade shows I have to go to. So
I may come for one meal.
come for a meal. All right, everyone. We will see you back here on Thursday. Bye-bye.